So good morning everyone. This is day 2 of the Food Systems Dialogue, India 2023. Thank you for being here with us in the morning. Before I welcome Dr. Ramesh Chand ji, I'd want to acknowledge Nankumar ji, Prabhu Pingali ji is here. Thank you so much for all people who are here with us from across the seas. I would say Fabric is here from Sat Samundar Par, Prabhu Pingali. People have come from all over. Thank you so much. Dr. Ramesh Chand ji, member NITI Aayog. Thank you so much, sir, for coming to Bharat Krishik Samaj program. Every time we've called you over so many years. Thank you so much for your support and mentoring to me personally and to Bharat Krishik Samaj and for having your wise counsel. Today, Dr. Ramesh Chand ji will be speaking on reimagining agriculture as an engine for future growth in India. After the session, we will be breaking out into 3 different groups based on 3 key themes of Dr. Ramesh Chand ji's presentation. And these breakout groups will be moderated and they will discuss different aspects of the presentation. And what we find, what the group finds in those presentations, in the breakout sessions, they will then be presented to Dr. Ramesh Chand ji and to everybody in the audience. I think so it's a beautiful format. And I would also want to say that when we invited Dr. Ramesh Chand ji for this session, Nankumar ji, his first reaction was that I'd want to come and speak, not only as not as a member of the NITI Aayog, but as an academician, because he's been speaking all the time as member of NITI Aayog. So he'll be presenting today, not, I would say, in his official capacity, but as someone who's passionate about the subject of agriculture, reimagining livelihoods, and for positive outcomes in the country. So without taking more time, I'd invite Dr. Ramesh Chand ji to please come and give his presentation. Thank you, Dr. Saab, for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ajay, and distinguished participants. Well, coming to Ajay's event is always a learning experience for me. Generally, he will invite people from different walks of life. I think that is the way to discuss relevance of any idea or any policy. Because if you stick something to a particular discipline, it's likely to have so many limitations. So you might have heard people saying law is too important to be left to lawyers, economics is too important to be left to economists, and like that. I think the message from that is that anything that concerns society must involve consultation, discussion with the larger stakeholders, rather than restricting it to, say, professional in that particular discipline. So beauty of Ajay's event is that you find people from academia, development, civil society, media, and generally farmers also, but this time I feel not many, but generally in his event I used to find that there are also reasonable number of farmers represented. Coming to this theme of my talk, reimagining role of agriculture as an engine of growth, somebody with faith in theory of economic development would say that look at these Indians, they still believe they can have these kind of romantic ideas that agriculture can be engine of growth, when all theories of economic development tell us that over time, as economy grow and develop, importance of agriculture goes down, manufacturing become engine of growth, services become engine of growth, but these people are still talking of but outside world may feel as utopian, that they are talking of Vasudevam Kutumbam, all those kind of things. But I would like to share with you the reasons that why I feel that agriculture, if not literally engine of growth, why it is very important for growth and development of this country, and why this role of agriculture cannot be assumed by manufacturing or by services. This some evidence in support of possibility of agriculture as a important source of growth become evident. One, if we look at historical data on India's growth and development, last 30 years, last 40 years, or in the post-liberalization, or last 20 years. Second is that if we look at experience of Indian states, then it become more evident that in India, even though India has made a lot of progress, our growth rate has been one of the best in the world, but still agriculture is so critical for future growth. So these are the two sources. If you look at them, you get something in support of what I said, reimagining agriculture as a engine of growth. The other reason for bringing agriculture to focus is that many of you will be knowing that the long-term goal which India is now focusing on, or which is the guiding goal for all our activities, that is goal of Viksit Bharat with inclusive growth. So let me look at these three and share with you what are my views. Incidentally, some of these views I presented in this paper, which is available on NITI Aayog site. Some of you may be interested to see this, but I am now preparing its second part, also looking at state level experience. I have looked at the data, but writing part I have to undertake. So if we look at historical experience of India, not all economists are in the room, so I am going to some basics also. That generally theory of economic development tells that when an economy grows, share of agriculture in output and employment declines, then a country should first exhaust potential of agriculture for its socio-economic transformation. That is first stage of development, especially for agrarian economy. Second stage is that you exploit the potential of manufacturing. Then manufacturing replaces agriculture as an engine of growth in the second stage. Then third stage is that tertiary sector, services, then they overtake manufacturing and they become a source of growth. But if you look at experience of India, you just find that after economic liberalization or last 20 years, that manufacturing has not been doing as well as services. So because of that, the structural transformation which you normally expect has not happened. It is slightly different. Rather, if you look at share of manufacturing in Indian economy, it follows inverted U shape in the last 20 years. The peak was reached, I think, about 14-15, when manufacturing share in Indian economy crossed 20%, and now it is back to 16%, and that is despite all conscious effort that we have to go by dictates of economic theory. Manufacturing must grow. Without that, even if some economy is growing, that is not sustainable. Ultimately, that industry thing will happen. But if we look at historical experience of India, I can't go into detail of everything. So 2-3 things emerged. First, that manufacturing, which was to emerge as engine of growth in stage 2, has not emerged as engine of growth. It is services. There are so many reasons. Government is trying its best. There is PLI scheme, 1 lakh crore rupees to give push to manufacturing, but still it's not visible that manufacturing will be becoming that engine of growth. Then second thing is that role of agriculture in Indian economy has not diluted as much as was expected. And many things have happened in agriculture, and it still remain one of the largest sector if you look at classification of economy in 12 sectors. So you just find that in most of the years, even recently, agriculture is either as big as manufacturing or it is more than what is manufacturing. These are the, I would say, 2 historical development, along with the other goal, which is of inclusive growth. So many studies show that agriculture growth is inclusive, it is pro-poor. People have empirically demonstrated that power of agriculture to reduce poverty is 4 times the power of non-agriculture to reduce poverty. So agriculture is playing its role in inclusive growth. Other is, of course, this sustainability. But one challenge which has become more and more severe over time, because of which we have to look at agriculture, that is the challenge of employment. Manufacturing has not so poorly informed in terms of growth as it has so poorly performed in offering jobs and employment. And that is becoming more severe with passage of time, because manufacturing is embracing industry 4.0 or 5.0, adopting all kind of robot, artificial intelligence, whatever, all of which are capital intensive. They are not labor intensive. It's a larger issue. If you talk to industry people, they give their own reasons. Law of labor, etc. They give those reasons, but the fact remains that employment in manufacturing did not increase in a way that it could suck sizable number of people who were in agriculture and reduce employment in agriculture. Last 7-8 years, because of lot of emphasis given by government on employment, what has happened that you find that growth of employment in manufacturing. Now we have PLFS data, which is now available for 6 years continuously. So one can look at these aspects more clearly. So that shows that manufacturing in last 6-7 years, the employment has grown by 3%. Earlier it was very low, but it has grown rather more than 3%. There is a paper by B.N. Golder. If some students or researchers are there, you can have a look at that paper, that manufacturing is now, employment is growing by 3%. But because of the demographic transition through which India is passing, the number of job seekers is growing by more than 4%. Our population growth is now very, very low, 1.2 or 1%. But because of the demographic transition, that proportion of people in the age group 16 to 60 is rising, and their growth rate is much larger than what is the growth rate in total population. Some population group even number is declining. So you just find that that even with 3% growth in employment in manufacturing, still it's not meeting the requirement of this job seekers, that number of job seekers rising much faster than employment offered by them. So because of I would say this mismatch between demographic transition and employment generation. Other factor which is a bit social and more specific to India, my friends from Punjab can appreciate it much better, that Punjab offers to lakhs of people from other states in agriculture, but their own youth are unemployed. So that reason is that when you talk of shift from agriculture to industry of labor, you find that labor class smoothly follow this. They move that, okay, if there are better jobs, if there is a continuous job in industry, but no point in staying in agriculture, they are moving to non-agriculture, they are moving to manufacturing. But as far as cultivator family are concerned, it's very difficult for youth of cultivator family to move from agriculture, even if it is not giving enough income, to manual job in industry. So that pattern I have observed in Punjab, that pattern I find hold in Haryana and maybe in many other places, that those from cultivators family, they look for different kind of jobs. The net result of all these factors is now reflected in recent changes in labor market, which shows that women and youth who were moving out of agriculture have suddenly in last 6 years started coming back to agriculture. This is a deeper question, but there is adequate evidence. My paper in Indian Journal of Labor Economics, after that 1 year more data has come, which further strengthen what I said in that paper, that women who are going out of even workforce, they are coming back into labor force, they are coming back into workforce. And the biggest increase, and if you look at the female work participation rate, in last 6 years it has increased from 22% to 28%. Big thing. But 70-80% of this increase is on account of increased employment of women in agriculture. So is it that agriculture is becoming more attractive? Agriculture is now becoming more mechanized, so lesser drudgery is there. Whatever, that explanation still, I would say, answer is not settled. But as far as trend is concerned, it is like that women in very large number are coming back into agriculture according to this PLFS data. Whether there are new opportunity or what is that need to be seen. So this to my mind is the historical context, because of which I feel that we have to reimagine a role of agriculture, rather than treating agriculture the way Arthur Lewis viewed agriculture, its passive role, residual role. Not like this. Agriculture as an active sector still share 18% in income, 45% in employment, sustainability, climate change, and health, above all this health. So after looking at these historical trends, I feel that we need to reimagine that how we can further develop the strength of agriculture. I call them strength of agriculture, that how we can build on the strength of agriculture for agriculture to play a larger role in achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat. And even in this paper, in the second section, I made a strong case that India's goal of raising our per capita income from at present around $2,200 per person per year to more than $10,000 per person per year by 2047 to become Viksit Bharat. That will require a strong focus on agriculture, to large extent for growth, but especially for inclusive growth. Now coming to experience of state, again very interesting experience of state. Some new things which now emerge from experience of state is offer a lot of learning. One is that if you take Green Revolution period, but has been experience of the conventional Green Revolution period of 1780s, early 90s, that the states which embraced Green Revolution and in the earliest stage, Punjab, Haryana, parts of Delta regions, you find that agriculture at West could give 5% growth for 15 to 20 years. After that, it just started decelerating. But now you find that agriculture in some of the state can give you 6 to 8% of the growth for as long period as 20 to 25 years. So I feel that this is a pretty long period to make the change in the stages of economic development. So this to my mind, if you look at growth of Madhya Pradesh, if you look at growth in Telangana, if you look at growth in this Andhra Pradesh, so you just find that you have different phases. In some phases growth touched even 10%, then sometime 8%, 6%. So overall you just find that growth rate in long period has been more than 6%, and there are indications that even in the coming several years this growth trend in those states will happen. So this is, I think, because of again combination of factors, like when Punjab was at the same level of productivity at which Madhya Pradesh is now, its growth rate started decelerating sharply. But in case of Madhya Pradesh, with the productivity level of Punjab of 93, 94, you still find that agriculture and crop sector are continuing to grow at more than 6%. So something in this new agriculture, I would say that because the first phase of Green Revolution was dominated staples, rice, wheat, but the second phase is combination of staple and diversification. It is not only restricted to rice and wheat, you also find fruit, vegetable and other things coming. And if you look at experience of these states, Andhra, Telangana, and Andhra has in fact crossed the crop productivity of Punjab by a significant margin. So the secret is that diversification. So second phase of Green Revolution gave much wider option rather than a stop or plateau coming when the productivity of rice and wheat approached plateau. In the new phase of Green Revolution, you just find that you have alternative option to prevent that plateau, which happened because of productivity ceiling of 1 or 2 crops. Through you are going for this diversification, and productivity of fruit and vegetable in most of the state is 4 to 5 times that of staple and other crops. So second is that states are very nicely using the combination of crop and livestock to have decent growth rate in agriculture. In most of the states, even in the states where agriculture growth total is poor, even in some of those states, livestock sector shows more than 6-7% growth. So that is, I would say, the second factor, which is playing the magic. So if now agriculture growth is of the order of 6-8%, and it happened for 25-30 years, that even if your manufacturing is not becoming engine of growth, India can still find, or that state can still find, that it is moving on the path or growth trajectory of Viksit Bharat, which require that India must grow at 7% for nearly 24-25 years in order to become Viksit Bharat. So this is how I view a role of agriculture, and I just find that moving on that growth trajectory is not possible if we just focus only on manufacturing and services. The next point which I want to share with you is that if we look at the state pattern, what is needed for agriculture to become, along with other sectors, as the source of growth to achieve the goal of Viksit Bharat is just 4-5 things. Some are very simple, they follow from our long experience. One is spread of already available technology to larger area. You don't require AI. Even without that, you will find that in agriculture growth will happen. In fact, to make just talk a little less serious, many people come to NITI Aayog. We have AI, we have wonderful AI to help rain-fed farmer to do all those things. But honestly speaking, I get so much fed up with those kind of proposal on AI. So one day, out of frustration, I told them, please leave us alone. We have enough real intelligence. You keep your artificial intelligence with you. So I think this real intelligence means this yield gap, that we have varieties which have not yet gone to large number of states, to large area. So first is spread of already available technology to larger area. Second is simultaneously growth in crop and livestock, and in some cases fishery also. And third is expansion of irrigation, which was almost stalled till 7 years back in most of the states. This is not to praise my boss Prime Minister, but I think Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, conceived in a different way, has made a major change. The area under surface irrigation, the area under public irrigation, which was stagnant for nearly 20 years, despite spending of thousands of crores of rupees on medium and major irrigation, after you just find 16-17, it has increased in a significant way, and total area under irrigation, which was stagnant, has increased from 47% to 55%. Big change has happened because we started reimagining irrigation. AIBP, Nandakumar ji will be knowing for some time, he was in agriculture, but he was dealing with irrigation statistics also. That this is making a lot of change. That area and irrigation which was stuck, it is now expanding. You look at area and irrigation in Andhra, in Madhya Pradesh, in Gujarat, in many states, you just find that there is a lot of change. Another factor. Fourth is diversification, and then it is a strong state support and play of market forces. Both are important. I produced in this paper that MSP, etc., it help you in harnessing potential, but beyond a point it is not of much help. You need to then use the market instruments, and power of demand driven growth much stronger than MSP. So both Like MP is nice example. Lot of support from that state came for agriculture, which has been helpful. But along with that, the state allowed market forces to play the role. Vegetable, some fruits, they also emerged in Madhya Pradesh. Growth of livestock sector. So combination of both MSP and role to market forces. So based on development experience of state in last 10 to 12 years, you get some pattern. And from those patterns, without applying econometric techniques, you will just find that we then get that how we attain the goal of Viksit Bharat and what kind of role we assign to agriculture in that. You will find 5-6 patterns. One pattern you will find very high growth of agriculture, but very low growth of manufacturing or overall non-agriculture. This is one pattern, but overall you find that this pattern does not lead you to Viksit Bharat. Second is very high growth of agriculture, also very high growth of manufacturing and services, like you see Andhra Pradesh. So you just find that this kind of growth trajectory is toward Viksit Bharat. Third is low agriculture but high manufacturing. You find that this growth is also happening in some of the states. I have written paper on this, but this growth is not inclusive. Poverty reduction in those states is very, very slow despite overall high growth of economy. So this model can give you growth but not inclusive growth. So Viksit Bharat is not about a few people becoming rich. It is about entire country. Every person having that per capita income of the order of more than $10,000. Then fourth pattern is low agriculture and low non-agriculture, manufacturing. It really requires different kind of imagination of agriculture and overall for this. There are also states in India where there is a negative growth of agriculture or stagnant agriculture and also stagnant non-agriculture. So you need to have different kind of experience. They are available within the country. Experience of great success, experience of great failure, experience of great performance, experience of non-performance, even in same set of ecologies. Like when I talk to Himachal Pradesh farmer, I tell them, you should no more take pride in competing with Uttarakhand. It is not already performing as a great state. But you see what Sikkim is doing. That per capita income is more than 5 lakh. Whereas rest of the country it is less than 2 lakh. And how it has achieved, how it has used tourism, how it has used Javik, Sikkim, etc., etc. So that is the goal. Then among small states you also find Tripura is doing differently. So if we look at experience of state in different sectors, not proper to name and shame at this stage unless I am firm on everything and I first come out with this paper, but I want to say is that from these patterns we get very good lessons. And we can use these patterns to draw the way forward and future growth trajectory with the useful messages that a few states you just find well they are on way to becoming Viksit Bharat. A few states are stuck and they will remain stuck if they do not change. A few states are struggling and some are just I would say not showing any sign of moving toward Viksit Bharat, but we used to talk about Bimaru earlier. Now there is a new set of state which is stuck in that kind of thing, but they are not the so-called old Bimaru states. They are different set of states. So I feel that if we want to achieve this goal of Viksit Bharat for all states, then overall message which I am getting from the data which I have looked at is that agriculture become a key sector along with manufacturing and services. So in terms of this, I stop here. If you want to now take up in a group, 3-4 things come to my mind that you can look at these. You can discuss those in group. Ajay can decide which group has comparative advantage in but sub themes. One is this employment and agriculture. I think this is very, very important. Part-time farmer or whatever. This is one area. And second is what kind of demand you visualize for agriculture. You know, these days the demand is shifting. People want different type of agriculture. They want different type of food. So how do you think in this society, are there some signal which you are getting that people now want different type of agriculture? They are for food with health attribute. They are for food with therapeutic values. They are for food which is free of chemical, whatever that, what kind of demand for agriculture you are visualizing. And agriculture and health, this is another area. Of course, future of smallholder. Smallholder will remain a reality of India. They have remained a reality of Asia. Most of India's economists and agriculture scientists, they do not have exposure to Asia. So they will go to USA, etc. and come back and say, बड़े बड़े फार्म बन जाते हैं, ये छोटे फार्मर तो वैनिश हो जाएंगे. That is a Western model. It never worked in Asia. The farm size in Japan is much smaller than us. Farm size is much smaller in China than us. Small farmer are reality of this country. How we keep them viable, how we keep them part of this Viksit Bharat. So one group can look at it, and another group can still look at that what are the possibilities for linkage between agriculture and industry, which can then become an important source of growth. So these are the current issues with which I think you can discuss, and that will become a good input for me also, as I have to grapple with these in my present duty. So thank you, Ajay.